everybody, Tim Walsh coming alive from Cherry Valley now on our BOF 2022 World Tour. This is the second stop of 4 for the weekend, and I'm working with Jim Kahn, who's not only the regional coordinator out here for this part of the state, but he manages the BOF program as well. So Jimmy, let's cover a few questions here. I need you to talk to me a little bit, and I'm going to move the microphone here, guys, because one of our microphones broke already today because of this fabulous spring weather. So, Jimmy, tell me how BOF actually works, like start to finish. How does it work? How many weeks it is? And tell me about this facility.
So BOF, this particular BOF program, 4 sites, it's blended. So it's online, 18 weeks online curriculum every week, 2 to 3 days. And then they're also doing virtual sessions online also. And then for 9 weeks, every other weekend, they're out here doing practicals. About 280 hours total if you put it all together.
Okay, and who's the fire chief out here? Who are we working under out here?
So Cherry Valley is under Chief Joe Coral, and Cherry Valley is a regional training site for IFSI. It's a great facility, been here a long time, one of the few Class A burn facilities around in this area still, and we use it hard.
Okay, and one thing that we do that a lot of academies don't do is we believe in live fire training. So let's talk about what happened here last weekend and how these students still get live fire training. What happened here last weekend?
So last weekend is one of 4 that we would call light and fights. They're at the regional training site. So we have one Southern Illinois, Champaign, and then also here at Cherry Valley, 4 times a year here. Last week we had about 45, 48 students from all over the state, as far south as Peoria, and all the way up to the state line. And then a lot of the BOF students, it's another opportunity for them to get live fire training.
How many students are represented here? How many different students and how many fire departments?
This current academy class is 55 students, and we're doing 31 different departments.
Okay, so people were asking questions. We were at the other facility. Hey, why do you guys do it over 18 weeks? Well, the majority of the fire service in this country and this state are volunteer, right? So there's a reduction in volunteers all across the country. It's on every news channel all over the world. So how can the State Fire Marshal and the State Fire Academy work together with grant funding to support the volunteer community? And that's why we deliver this program over 18 weeks at 4 different sites, and there's no charge. This is free training for every student that attends this. So they can get their basic operations firefighter in a blended format over 18 weeks, take care of their families, be away from their families less, even though they're committed to doing homework in the evenings, and they're gone for 6 to 7 weekends out of that 18 weeks. But they can get it all done in their area where they live and continue to function, support their family, report to their regular jobs. So Instructor O'Keefe is to my right here. We're running vent enter search at this station, so we're going to have some students come up. This is the first time they're doing it. They're obviously not forcing the window. They're just getting used to climbing the ladder and making the search. And this is a crawl, walk, run type of instruction where students will learn this under non-fire conditions first, with Instructor O'Keefe giving them a hand, and then they'll learn it under fake smoke next, and then under live fire conditions later. So Jimmy and I are going to get out of the way. So there's some room here. I'm going to hand the microphone to Jimmy. Jimmy, let's talk about what they're doing here.
So vent enter search is just that. They enter the room.
Roll in. Nice and low.
Conditions will vary,
Go isolate that door.
but the whole idea is to get to the door, isolate the room, and then they can do a quick search, and then it'll be right back out again. This is not the actual fire room.
Roll in. Doors isolated. Low. Nice and low.
Students are learning how to come in.
Window apartment.
So this is the first time these students are doing this scenario. They're isolating the room, like Jimmy said. They're performing a search. They're calling out victims.
Did we search the room and complete it?
We got a victim here. We haven't completed a search yet.
Complete your search. Work together. It can take about 30 seconds to free you when you room this side.
All right, we'll go this cover. I got it down.
Let me know when you think it's complete.
Couch is clear.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, gentlemen, let's roll out of here. It's complete.
So they've completed the search. Now they can
Put your
back out the way they came in, out the window. So again, students are learning not just coming in and doing the search, they're learning how to exit the window, back on the ladder, and back down to another area.
Okay, so we're going to head downstairs now, and we're going to open the door so our camera person doesn't fall down the stairs so she can see. And we're going to head down to where they're doing primary search on the first floor. There's 5 stations here at Cherry Valley. None of them today are live fire. When we were out earlier this morning in Streeter, we had live fire going on. Here today, they're not working with live fire, but they have 5 different stations. Our next station is just a regular primary search on the first floor. So we're going to move in and kind of be quiet here for a minute. We're going to call it out, and we're going to watch these students perform a primary search.
So what you do is you know that you did a right-hand search, right? So I just turn around now, and I want to put my left shoulder on the wall, and just follow that left shoulder all the way around. And then you're going to lead me right out to my door. Okay? Good job, girl. Good job.
So like we were talking about before, they're going to be searching under non-fire, zero smoke today because this is the first time they're doing it. As we move through the program for their later trainings, they'll add in fake smoke and then ultimately fire to these rooms. You can see the soot and the smoke and the black walls in the room that we're in now. They actually do live fire training here. So I'm going to get out of the way while they come in and do their search. So you can see that the 2 firefighters are communicating with each other. They're talking about the layout of the room, even though they've been in here for other trainings before. With zero smoke and the ability to see, it breeds some familiarity and it breeds a little bit of comfort for them as we move through their basic training evolutions. And like I said, this is the first time they're doing this, is today. So obviously we're going to improve their skill set as they're here for other trainings. We're going to go out to the front side of the building now and kind of show you what we're doing on the outside. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. Keep up the great work, guys. All right, so these are some of the students waiting to go in to get their primary search done. And we're going to do a little bit of walking here. We're going to walk past the ladder evolution. So we have students on the ladder, on the main ladder, just learning how to climb a main ladder. They're going up and down the ladder, getting familiar with it, getting comfortable with it, so that the first time they climb a ladder isn't at home. Jimmy, you want to talk about this evolution, please?
So typically we had the ladder at a much steeper angle and all the way up. We were dealing with 40 mile an hour winds earlier today, so we brought the ladder down. Gives them a little bit of confidence. It gives students that may not have ever climbed an aerial before, it gives them an understanding of what's going up and down. Later on, we do transition onto the roof. We work on coming off and on and off the ladder also. Today is just to give them a chance to work on the aerial, up and down, and give them a chance of what it feels like.
Okay, we're going to kind of break off to our camera person's right here because I want to show you some other props that we have here. We use the King ceiling prop, which is to my right, over my right shoulder. And then we teach other programs here at Cherry Valley. Like Jim said, Cherry Valley is the regional training facility, so our partners at FE Moran and Getz Fire Equipment are involved with our investigator and our fire prevention program. So they'll be teaching out here this week as well, and that's why this trailer is here along with Jimmy's regional rep trailer, which brings all these tools out here. We're going to pan back around now to my right. You can see the fire vent prop as we move up and we take a look of the students climbing up and down the ladder. And then we'll show you the fire vent prop. And Jimmy and I are going to walk over there and kind of talk about what they're learning over here. It appears that they're doing the Milwaukee method here, which is what we teach here at the Illinois Fire Service Institute. The ability to use a ground ladder and a roof ladder to make a vent roof. and then how to chop on that roof if your saw doesn't start, because we all know that the axe always starts. Jim?
So you'll see, yes, they are using their axes. We do transition into the saws. They'll be on a flat roof tomorrow. So it's a pitch roof today, flat roof tomorrow, but this isn't the only time. They'll be doing this multiple times or during the rest of the weeks.
So we have two fire vent props at this facility, and Fire Vent is one of the partners here at the Illinois Fire Service Institute that does a great job for us. We can move that prop up or down, place it in any angle that we want, even flat roof. And then if my camera person pans left, you can see the newest fire vent prop that we have up on 4-story can. As we walk past here, we're able to put that vent prop on top of the cans that we utilize all over the state to simulate a ground ladder raise to the peak roof or a main ladder raise to the peak roof. So Jimmy and I are going to walk to the last station at the back of the Cherry Valley property here, and you can see Cherry Valley has quite a facility here. They have 2 live burn props, one being a 4-story can, the other being a 4-story brick and block building where they actually perform live fire. And the students in the back of the 4-story can are working on removing victims up and down a ladder. So this is a great controlled way to practice this to make sure you're doing it correctly. So I'm going to be quiet here for a minute. We're going to let the instructors teach, and we're going to work on some little halyard skills here, it looks like, and then we'll get some firefighters up that ladder to make a victim rescue. You guys can all say hi and wave. You know, it's okay to wave to the camera here while we're live.
On said number down there, pick somebody. They're laying down. You have to rescue them. You have to hoist them up out of a place. Where are you going to go? You going to go on their wrists? Who wants to go on their wrists? Why not? There you go.
So as usual, I was wrong. They're not working on halyard tying. They're working on the handcuff knot, which is a basic skill that I should have recognized when I came around the corner. Jimmy, you want to talk about this station, please?
So again, victim rescue, getting in and out of ladders. They're working on a couple other things, but what we do is multiple evolutions going forward. They'll be working on RIT. We actually, in these cans, we are actually to breach floors, just like you would have in a floor collapse. So we hit RIT in firefighter rescue and self-rescue pretty hard, even in the BOF program, which a lot of programs aren't able to give you or have the facilities to make that happen.
Yeah, and the great part about this, like I talked about earlier, Jim, is 474 students and 257 fire departments across the state of Illinois have taken this free training that's provided by the Office of the State Fire Marshal, Matt Perez. He works in conjunction with the Illinois General Assembly to obtain that funding and provide free training for firefighters all across the state of Illinois. Talk a little bit about your role in Cornerstone, how that free Cornerstone training works in your region, Jim.
Well, again, it's through grant funding and funding through other sources to provide free training to departments, actually any department, but to departments that can't or have the budgets or are needing help and assistance in augmenting or supplementing a lot of their training and giving them the classes that they would never actually have the ability to go see and do.
That's great. So that's going to be it for today. We're kind of done. We hit 2 spots today. Tomorrow we're going to start in Kelowna about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll be in Kelowna, and then we got a little bit of a ride. We're going from Kelowna, Illinois, all the way to Centralia, Illinois. Those are the 4 BOF spots for this semester. We teach these classes 2 times a year, spring and fall. This is the spring session. You can tell by how warm and beautiful it is here today. We're wearing gloves and stocking hats. But we appreciate you tuning in to the Facebook forum for the Illinois Fire Service Institute. We will be back with you tomorrow, and we'll have some announcements about upcoming fire college and events coming up this summer. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and thanks for joining us today.